I will start by introducing what's SBCOP. So SBCOP was an initiative launched in Brazil this year with the main objective to connect the priorities of the private sector to the official COP30 agenda. So it was a very ambitious initiative with several working groups, with experts, NGOs, companies, and we produced for each working group a document summarizing our recommendations to the COP agenda. So, I will start by introducing our participants. Yes, Patricia, if you could introduce yourself.
Okay. So hello, everyone. It's very good to be here. I'm Professor Patricia Iglesias. I'm the Chief of Sustainability Officer in the University of São Paulo.
Yes, Sophie, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sophie Cederberg. I come from Sweden, from a company called SKF. We do bearings. Bearings are in everything that rotates. I will tell you more in a bit. But I am head of group sustainability in SKF Group.
Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, Rodolfo, please.
Hi, hello. My name is Rodolfo Nardesirol. I'm in charge of environmental and sustainability in CPFL Energia. It's a power company in Brazil. And I would say warm welcome for everyone. So I believe that we are in the middle Amazon, and I believe that everyone can be a feeling what's mean dry and warm climate. So welcome everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rodolfo. So as part of our circular economy working group, we really focused on three main priorities to the COP30 agenda. The first one was regulation and incentives, because regulations and incentives is key to a level playing field for circular economy. The second one was really circular supply chains, fostering mainly innovation and collaboration between companies. And finally, circularity is not only about materials or process, it's also about people, right? And the final recommendation dealt with education for people directly involved in circularity, and as well behavior change, because we noticed that it's vital for the whole society to change its behavior to make circularity happen. And just to give a fact for you, the current global rate of circularity is only 7%, meaning that only 7% of the materials entering the economy each year comes from any circularity initiative. And that shows the potential of circularity and how that can be increased. And one of the main objectives of SBCOP was, as this is the implementation COP, was this bringing initiatives that were already being done in the market and that could be somehow escalated and shown to other companies. So we prepared a booklet with the cases, and we selected the six most impactful cases. And fortunately, we have two of those cases here. They will be able to talk about that afterwards. Patricia, to start with you. Patricia was co-chair of our group, so it was a very good collaboration with Patricia. Patricia has a long history of collaborating with the agenda, with circularity. And Patricia, I mentioned the first priority of regulation and incentives. And I'd like you to summarize, to start the discussion, how do you see that regulation and incentives can contribute to improve this very small circularity global rate?
Okay. Thank you, Mauricio. We had a good work in this group, and we could bring some results like the point of regulation. I'm a professor in the School of Law in the University of São Paulo, so regulation is my point. And what we see is that we need a regulation that is more similar in different countries. Because if we are looking to a circular economy, into circular solutions, we need to have some similarity. If you don't have, this can be a problem, mostly to the companies. Then we start the first idea of having a regulation, and and thinking in international agents that can work on this, connected with the UN, and looking for solutions in circular solutions.
Yeah, thank you, Patricia. One thing that strikes me in relation to regulation is that sometimes people have a negative feeling towards regulation, right? But what we saw is that there are like hundreds of regulations dealing with circular economy, and in our paper we listed several examples of that. And we noted that if there is not a level playing field, it's very difficult for some players to be able to implement the initiatives and also to scale, right? So smart regulations, as we were discussing, I think it's vital, right? And from your perspective, Sophie, SKF has a long history of working with circularity, and we know that it's a challenge to make this happen, but it also creates more resilient processes, right? Specifically in the industrial sector, what type of experiences could you share with the audience and other companies?
Thank you for the question, Mauricio. I think this is really a shift that we need now, going from linear economy to circular economy. And actually, we need to change the mindset and think about this from a perspective of care. We call it SKF Care, which means that we care about the material that we source. We care about how we deal with the materials we use in our own operations, how we operate. We care about our customers, of course, and we try to care about the products that we sell to the customers. It's not just selling and then it's bye-bye. It's a long partnership together with the customers in order to help them to increase their uptime, reduce their cost, reduce, of course, their emissions, but take care of the products that we sold to them. So we focus a lot on our solutions. So it's our smart and intelligent solutions that will help our customers to really care of their processes and their products. So it's a mindset. And we need to stop thinking in the way we have been doing for many, many years. And that goes through the whole value chain. So that's the kind of mindset you need to bring. And I think in the past, many years ago, we were caring much more about repairing, taking care of what we got from the planet. Nowadays, it's been a lot of short-term profitability aspects. So let's think of it in the terms of the value that we're getting and how we can work together.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you touched upon two of our priorities, right?
Yeah.
The innovation and collaboration, but also the behavior change. That's key. I talk about like the people, but as you said, it's not only people, the companies, right? They have to care. That's a very good example. We are in the services.
Yeah.
We have to care with our people, right? But
yeah.
You mentioned that you have to care with the natural resources, the products, and so on. I think that's very positive. Thank you so much. And Rodolfo, you are in the energy sector, right? So people would think, wow, what's the connection between energy sector and circularity, right? And we were pretty much surprised and happy to see that there is such a strong case was coming from CPFL. Could you just mention, in general, how the energy sector can contribute to circularity, and also how you've done that in relation specifically to equipment?
Thank you for the question. I believe that when we are talking about circular economy, we are talking about business. So when we understand the opportunity to consider circular economy as a business, of course, we can scale up all the business model that we have. In our case, in power sector, especially for renewables, we are talking about update of technology every single day. So 15 years ago, we had the wind turbine technology about 1 megawatt inshore. And nowadays, we are talking about 7 megawatts. This means that the old assets must be replaced. And of course, we needed to improve the performance of the equipment to reduce costs and improve the benefits. But the result of this is one old blade, one old machines that we needed to recycle. So this is a challenge, of course, but it can be a business. In terms of PV solar panels, it's the same. When you're talking about PV, 10 years ago technology, it's 15% of efficiency. And now we are talking about 30% or more. So how we will deal with amount of solar panels? We need to recycle this. But we needed to consider this as a business. For CPFL, we have one business case, especially for transformers, where we recycle every single part of the transformer. We have steel, we have copper, we have oil, and every single part we can recycle. And most important is completely aligned with the environmental procedures. We demand less amount of natural resources. We can provide a lot of jobs. 300 people are directly contracted for this. And the best of everything is it's completely profitable. We make money with this. And so we provide one example for many, many, many companies around the world to provide the same model that is completely profitable for environmental side, for society side, and the business side. So when you consider circular economy as a business, it's so important that we can scale up every single business model that we have.
Yeah, thank you for that. And one of the reasons that the CPFL case was chosen by the group is because it's so scalable, right? And so applicable to other industries as well. Because when you look at the 7% of circularity rate that we have on a global scale, it's crazy, and the potential is enormous, right?
Percent of the potential we didn't practice nowadays. So the potential for new economy, new companies, startups that deal with this kind of challenge is so huge.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Patricia. So you are in the education area, right? As you mentioned, you are a professor. And we discussed how important is the upskilling of people working with circularity, right? And in the beginning, I forgot to mention something that's very important. When we talk about circularity, right, people normally think that circularity is recycling, right? Recycling is a portion, right? It's important, but it's a portion. But we do see that especially people working with recycling in Brazil, in India, in other emerging markets, normally they work in a very hard working conditions, and they do not have the conditions, right, to really evolve as a professional, as an individual. And as we always talk, we must ensure a just transition, right? So, Patricia, how do you think that education is applicable for everything, right? But specifically in this case, what do you think that education can change the actual status quo?
Let me start with one comment because of what you said. I was the president, I'm the former president of the environmental company in São Paulo. And in my opinion, we have to connect with the private sector because the private sector has the solutions. And sometimes we are trying to invent the wheel inside a public place like CETESB, But we have the solution in the private sector, like these examples here. So in São Paulo, I was a president during 4 years, and from 2019 to 2022. And we could get companies in the reverse logistics from 1,000 companies to 5,000 companies in these years. And this was a construction with the companies, with the private sector. So sometimes we just want to put more rules, but we don't talk with the companies, just to start. And talking about education, University of São Paulo is considered the best university in Latin America. It's a very big university. We are talking about 100,000 people. So it's similar a city, and it can be a laboratory. This is the point. Looking for circular economy, in the University of São Paulo, we started a new center of research that's USP for climate. And the point is that we are connecting with the researchers, looking for solutions. So education is very important in this issue, in my opinion. We have to show solutions. So inside the University of São Paulo, just to use one example, we have a biodigester looking for all the rests from restaurants that are putting there and transforming in energy. And this is a kind of model that can use in the cities. So just one example, it's a researcher that is working with this solution.
And do you think that, Patricia, universities in general, they get enough incentives and finance to make that happen, or what's your take on that? What else could be done so that because you are in the, as you said, right, in one of the best universities of the world, right? Do you think that there are ways to make that possible? More
yes,
in general, right? Not only these islands of excellence, right?
It's important to say, in the University of São Paulo is in the top 5 sustainable universities in the world, according to Green Metric. 9 years before, we were almost in the 300 position. So in 9 years, we could go from 300 to 5 position. But the point is the budget. We have a budget, not only for management in general, but also for the green areas inside the university. I don't know another university that has green areas declared as green areas. So the university cannot construct in that areas. And we have like 2 million reais per year to work with these areas, and more money to the management. So this is a point. If you don't have the budget, it's difficult to advance.
Yeah, and that was one of the issues that we discussed, right, in our working group. And to Rodolfo's point, and that's applicable to that as well, is that to circular economy, to have like enough investments for education, or to make the circularity economic viable, you need some money up front, right? You need finance. And that's one of the main discussions that we are having here at COP, right? And our paper also showcase how upfronting, financing, and incentives are key to solve the two priorities, right? Innovation and education, right? So, thank you, Patricia. Sophie, in your first comment, you mentioned the value chain, and we noted that it's impossible for a company to do that, right, without looking upstream and downstream, behavior change and everything else. Could you elaborate a little bit more in relation how you are approaching the value chain in general to make the circularity solutions work so well?
Certainly, Mauricio, and I want to reach out to you also, Patricia. Thank you for showing that progress that you have made, and I think we can expand our relationship because we've been in Brazil for 110 years, providing our products and solutions. We have a lot of knowledge and technical experience working with our customers. So, let's try to reach out more to each other and help. Because as you said, technologies are there, they exist. So now it's time to scale. But coming back to your question, Mauricio, well, we buy a lot of steel because bearings are made of steel. And how can we take care of that steel and make sure that we don't extract more steel from the planet than necessary? Well, we source scrap steel to start with. That's really what we focus on in the supply chain. But now, scrap steel is not available everywhere in the world. So how can you influence? And our steel is not like regular steel, it's bearing steel, it's quite specific. And we are a small player in the steel industry, so we are not a big player there to source steel in general. But what we do then, in order to advocate for change, is that we join different associations, like Responsible Steel, for instance, which is an organization that is working not only to reduce emissions, but make sure that the sourcing of steel is done in a responsible way. And there goes also for the social aspects. So it's not only the pure material, but how it is sourced, how the businesses are run, and so on. So it starts there to influence and call for advocacy and put pressure on the steel mills and the steel industry. And then when it comes to our own operations, we have been working with the decoupling our economic growth with the energy that we use for more than 100 years. So really what we do is we reduce friction. So we call it fighting friction. That's our products, that's our solutions. So we've shown that we have grown our business, but at the same time reduced our energy use. And this is really fantastic because we put a lot of demands on all our factories all over the world. We're in 130 countries working with our solutions. So in our factories, we are trying to really put pressure on the factory management that if you don't work on decarbonization, you won't get access to more funds. We were talking about financials here. So we actually introduced, first of all, an investment frame for energy efficiency, 3 billion Swedish kronor, that the factories get access to in order to decarbonize their own operations. And if they don't have a plan towards 2030, they won't get access to any new equipment because they don't have a plan for decarbonizing. So we're very tough in our own operations. Then it comes to the customers, to go through the whole value chain. As I said, we care about our customers and the products that we sell and the solutions we offer to the customers. So how can we help the customer reduce their energy demand? Of course, our products help them reduce energy demand, but also we have solutions to make sure that we have predictive maintenance. We can tell them when is it time to maintain the products. We have also solutions like recond oil, which is a patent product that we offer, which uses oil for manufacturing processes again and again. You don't need to buy new oil. What's going on here? Okay, we use the same oil all over and over again. So we have a solution to separate all the contamination in the oil, And we can use the same oil all over. You don't need to buy new. And then we of course have this remanufacturing offer that I'm going to talk more about. But that's the whole value chain concept.
Yeah, thank you. So I think, Sophie, now it's a great time for you to showcase to us the case. I believe you play a short video, and
Yeah.
then you talk a little bit more about the solution, right?
Yeah, happy
We
to.
can move to that, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can we put the video?
For over a
Yes.
century, SKF has kept industries moving, engineering bearings, seals, and solutions that reduce friction worldwide. Just like many other industries, we rely on steel. We know that every new bearing produced means more steel and more emissions. But why replace what's too good to be replaced? With SKF remanufacturing, bearings get a second life. Same standards and warranties, improved TCO and lead time, and up to 90% less CO2. 25 years of experience, 20 plus centers worldwide, proven results. We reuse 4.5 million kilograms of steel annually, avoiding 15.6 million kilograms of CO2. From workshops to automated factories, we're making circular manufacturing the norm. Join us.
Thank you.
It's working well.
I
They
hope
train
you
a
liked
lot.
our video. We're very proud of it. It's just fresh from the press. So, yeah, as I explained earlier on, we have the technologies. Now it's time to scale it. And we're looking for partners to join us in this movement. So, of course, we're talking about both making a financial profitable business here and reducing emissions, right? So needs to come together. And actually we've proven that. Our remanufacturing service is profitable. We have really good margins. So we're talking about solution here that has value for so many people involved. So first of all, of course, I mean, sourcing, no need to source new steel, right? Even not sourcing scrap steel, but taking care of the products that we have sold, that we have extracted from the planet from the beginning. So taking care of that. And then, the value then we're bringing for the customer is really, as was said in the video, bringing down TCO, total cost of ownership. So not just thinking about, the short-term profits or the short-term commitment that you need to make, but really more long-term vision. So if you use this solution, you will have an extended lifetime of your products. You will, of course, reduce cost. You will reduce your emissions. So a lot of value for the customers, a lot of value for SKF too. And we want to spread the knowledge about these values. So really, I want to really emphasize again that finance and CO2 goes together. We shouldn't think about it as in a separate way. So it's all about resilience and really working in close partnership with your customers. That's what we are doing, and we want more companies to think in the same way. So, yeah. I think we can really stand tall and say that this is a proof point. The technology exists, we can do this. Let's replicate. Let's spread the word. And that's why we're here in COP30, to make sure everyone is aware about these opportunities, that there's no way we can continue as we have done for the past 100 years, just thinking in a linear business, but really thinking in circular business throughout the value chain.
Yeah, thank you, Sophie. That was such a strong case and example, because in the beginning, people could not connect circularity with reduction of emissions. And this example, you were reducing 90%
Yeah.
of the emissions. So yeah, it's a very solid example, and certainly it's checked all the marks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's economic viable, it's working, and it's scalable, right? So thank you
And
so
we
much.
are ramping up.
Yeah.
We are investing heavily now in these centers across the globe to really grow and accelerate our remanufacturing business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will have a final round of questions for you, yeah, please. So, Rodolfo, I'd like you to present the CPFL case now. Could you do that? You have some slides as well, right?
Okay. I believe that it's a new solution about transformers. When we say that our organic growth demands replace some old equipments, such as transformers, but even the cables, even the pools, for example. And we needed to deal with all this. So for every single company, it's mandatory to have one deep inventory of every single equipment. What's the components of those equipments? Oh, thank you. Oh, great. Better. Thank you. And how is the technology available to do this? So how it's our project finance to deal with this and to face those challenges. But one big challenge for every single company is logistics. Where are the equipments? How I will collect this and put in one industry to reuse, to refurbish, to separate for supply chain. This is the challenge, I believe so. And for CPFL, we, in our organic growth, we use around 25,000 transformers every single year. We demand this. And with this company, where we refurbish the equipment that we remove, the old ones, after 30 years of use, we can return those equipments to the grid in the percentage of 40%. So 40% of all our demand is from the refurbish. So this is so less CO2 emissions, so less water demand, or we can promote the circularity with the same performance. So we can, just for GHG emissions, when you are talking about vegetable oil as an isolate oil, we are saying that, we are telling that 50% of GHG reduction, and for mineral, we are talking about 70% of GHG reduction. And the costs, this is the amazing, is 80% less than a new one. So very profitable solution for the distribution companies. In terms of regeneration of the isolating oil, we had one, we promote one self solution, and our self reuse oil facility works with 300,000 liters per month. So we can reuse those oils every single month. So if I need to reuse. And this is less cost to destinate the waste as a waste, and we recycling, and we reduce the costs for the company and for society as a whole. In terms of reverse chain, we have the recycling process where every single scrap, steel, iron, or copper, aluminium, we can recycling over 80,000 tons per year. This is a huge amount. Of course, logistics is the challenge here, but we can provide one reverse logistics for supply chain in a very good shape. And in terms of pools, concrete pools, it's hard to recycle concrete pools, but we have one equipment that destroy the concrete, and so we can destinate for civil construction works. And the steel that use in the pool, we destinate for supply chain. So every single piece of the pool we can destinate. So we close the cycling and we turn the linear production for a circular economy in terms of distribution companies.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rodolfo. One thing that was very important to us in relation to this case is that we were this morning in a panel, and there is a myth, I would call a myth, right? Mm-hmm. Because people say circular is more expensive. Mm-hmm. That's a general belief. I just want you to comment on this. Is the circular more expensive, really?
Of course not. I'm not talking about expenses here. I'm talking about extra revenues. Of course, we are a power company. We make money delivering energy for the population. But in terms of circular economy case, we have a very profitable company, 50 million reais per year in EBITDA. So it's a very profitable solution, and we contracted 300 people directly in the city that we are. We are the biggest taxpayer company and the biggest employee company in the small city. So the impact for the society is amazing. And of course, the environment demands is so low. And we have this case as a business case to reduce our GHG emissions. So in all terms that we can see, all points of view, we can show that this kind of circular economy is completely profitable for every single aspect that we can see.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Come here, Rodolfo. I just wanted another round of questions in relation to the case. We are trying to destroy some myths here, Sophie, in relation to circular economy. The next one, it goes to quality, right? Another myth is that I was discussing this with a company. That is the company that produces the engines for trucks, and the same company has a plant to refurbish its own used trucks, but it has more production than demand, because even though they are giving the same level of warranty to that products, people will say, oh, this is a refurbished engine and not the same quality, even though it's cheaper, I'm not going for that, right? How do you deal with that, and how do you communicate with customers? Do you had any restrictions in the beginning, or how was that process?
Well, very good question, and an important one to deal with. And definitely, we're saying it's too good to be replaced. I mean, it's really, we need to think differently. So it's a shift of mindset, because it's really providing the same quality that the original has. So with our expertise, we can really make sure that we are up to the standards, and our standards are very, very high. So that's something that you need to overcome. You need to really work in close collaboration with your customers to explain that. And we've proven that it works. And I mean, we have now, so many cases that we can show that this is really at the same quality as the original one. And we will be, maintaining it in the same manner. We will be providing our expertise, our services, and so on, in the same manner. So we just need to think differently, open your minds, and embrace.
Think circular, right? Do you
If
want
I
to comment,
can
Rodolfo?
add
Yeah, sure.
something, our refurbished equipments have the ISO 90,000, 40,000, and 80,000. Every single standard, quality standard we have. And our refurbished equipment has the same quality, the same resistance, the same life cycle that the new one, with 20% of the costs, generating new employees, new tax. So it's mandatory to have a very good quality for refurbish, reuse, and recycling. This is mandatory for every single circularity case.
And
Thank
I
you.
think, if I may also, sorry, see it as an opportunity to expand the collaboration with your customer, because you will have very interesting discussions and building that strong partnership if you explain in detail how it's going to work. So I think you should see it as an opportunity for a stronger collaboration with your customer.
Yeah, Patricia, go
Just to add that you can have also a collaboration with the universities, because if you do research and show that's correct, like in a university like USP, that has credibility, maybe this could be a good issue.
Yeah, I think that was the discussion that we had here. It was my goal since the beginning. You can discuss so that I can go and you can keep it going. So thank you for collaborating in this connection. I just had one more question to you, Rodolfo, then I will check if the audience has any questions. But I will ask you, you mentioned that big demand for the equipment. Is there a bottleneck, or you can produce, you have sufficient production for your full demand of generators?
No, we attend 40% of our new demand for transformers. So I need to buy 60% of my demand by new one. So, of course, Brazil is an emerging market, and we are in grow scale. So I believe that in the future, where we be stable, maybe we can be almost 100%. But nowadays, we refurbish 100% that we can provide, but these attend only 40% of my demand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions? You want to start? You give the mic.
Hi, thanks a lot for this very interesting discussion. I'm Justine Osdoba from Blue Like an Orange Sustainable Capital, which is an impact investing fund. And we've been doing some research for a portfolio company in solar energy. And what we've seen is that there is still no recycling capacity in LATAM, but neither in Europe for solar panel. And here it's really like circularity by design issue, because all panels are produced in China, and also, I mean, in a way that's very difficult to recycle, and especially getting the rare minerals back. And there is a scaling issue, which is that these are long-term infrastructure, and there is not yet the quantities needed to make the business model viable. So just wanted your opinion on this dilemma and how collective action with research and with the different actors in the value chain could maybe solve it.
Thank you. Can we start? Both Sophie and Rodolfo. Do you want to start, Sophie?
I believe that for solar panels, of course, the mandatory is the inventory of all components. But we know that glass is so high, aluminum and copper and some other parts, and we have technology for this. But business case, showcase for this is not the real. But I believe that the new industry will be a circular economy industry. And the industry that can provide one solution to recycling this, because glass is easy. Aluminum too, and copper. So I believe the procedure to provide this is the bottleneck. But the technology is available now, but not business cases. So we needed to identify this, how we will collect this from the entrepreneurs, the citizens that invested in this technology, and how we can replace this as a battery. Nowadays, the battery, we just change the battery for a new one, and the industry pay for the old. I believe that in the future, maybe to replace the technology of PV, we can put your PV panel, old one, as a part of the bill or the payment for a new one. I believe so. Maybe can the regulatory one can design this in a good shape.
I think not only
ahead,
regulatory, but also the universities. Like in the University of São Paulo, now we have 20% of solar panels. Our energy, 20% of all the energy in the university is from solar panels. So we need to look for these solutions.
Sophie?
No, I think really it's about working together with regulators as well. So we need to have a common system. As you say, Rodolfo, you need to have your inventory, what are the materials, and then you join others who are in the same situation. You put pressure and join forces to make sure this, you have this responsibility aspect to the materials you have in those products in order to start putting pressure. So I think you cannot do it alone. You need to do it in strong collaboration.
Yeah, it's good, Patricia, because it all came down to our three priorities, right? Regulation, collaboration, innovation, education, and behavior. I think that we were on track, right?
Yes,
and we
I
have
think
not
so.
we have not direct the answers here, just to make it clear, okay? Yes, please.
So thank you. It's a great discussion, and building a bit on this collaboration part and what are the main challenges and opportunities. So one thing that I see for us to scale up circularity is to integrate different value chains, right, from different industries, and how we can use these to foster decarbonization among different hard-to-abate sectors, and how can we, for example, get the residues from agriculture and produce sustainable aviation fuels, for example, and then one value chain integrate into another. And you mentioned a bit about the challenges and what it takes, for example, regulation and collaboration with universities. And I wanted to see, like, perhaps for you, with the two of you that are Brazilians, but based on our competitive advantage as well, what are the main opportunities for the country to help other industry, like to scale up these circularity opportunities, and how you can see that we can better position ourselves as a country in this opportunity?
I believe that of course, we have many opportunities. And nowadays, just for power sector, we have a huge opportunities. And for the mobility here in Brazil, I believe that we will have a great opportunities in a few years, because we will have a huge amount of batteries, for example, and lithium, cadmium, and others. And I believe that we can prepare our industry to deal with this, because the companies that can reuse materials like this have a lot of technology here in Brazil, and we have some skills, knowledge that we can provide. with the support of R&D from universities. But I believe that the most important is to identify the amount of these resources, what's the frequency of this, to modeling the business as an industry. And I believe that some externalities, such as reducing GHG emissions, can provide some carbon credits to improve the performance of the business. But I believe that we needed to understand the real value of this material that will be recycled, such as copper. Copper is rare in the nature nowadays. It's difficult to mine, it's difficult to transport, to refine this. So nowadays, the best source is from recycling. And we need to identify this. And I believe that the mobility will be the next challenge for this circular economy.
I think I can add a point. We had in the University of São Paulo like a tipping point that's very important for our discussion. The rector from the university had a meeting with the researchers, and he told, I don't want to know how many papers you are going to publish. I want to know how many problems you are solving. So this is an important point nowadays in the university, not doing research in theory, but solving problems, real problems, like we are talking here today.
Yeah, thank you, Patricia. Sophie, she said that was for Brazilians, so you have to answer this one in Portuguese.
Oh, pode ser. Eu falo português.
No, you can stick. I just joke
Podemos.
because she speaks all the languages, right? So yeah, but go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
Just for our international audience, we can continue in English.
Okay, right. Yeah, continue in English. We can talk later on in Portuguese. No, but I think let's stop thinking about material as waste. It's an asset. It's an asset. We should take care of it and really change the mindset. So, I mean, for us, being in the steel, bearing steel business, we are desperately looking for more scrap steel. And that takes a long time to get hold of, because in many countries, you don't have that type of mindset that this is an asset, the steel is an asset that you need to take care of, make sure that you can take it back and sell it again. So we need to accelerate that and lift that question. And that's why we're joining forces with associations like Steel Zero and Responsible Steel. So I think you need to come together and say, you know, this way of working is not, you know, taking us to the next level. So how do we unlock the potentials? Because these are assets.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think that our panel is coming to an end. It was a great discussion. And I think that we gave here an example of how things can effectively be implemented, right? We were in the SB COP. We were not too much in the discussions. We were in things that were working in practice. And on top of the booklet with our recommendations and with paper, there is a separate booklet with almost 200 cases, right? Evidently, the cases that are here, you can see how solid they are. That's why they made to the short list and they were selected for the panels. But we have very good examples, and that's public for everyone. And all the working groups of the SB COP have produced it. So we have like 1,000 cases of things that are being done in relation to sustainability. And one of the key aspects to be there is that things that are viable, things that are connected with the sustainability agenda, and things that can be scalable, right? So it's a very useful resources for a company to use. And having said that, I want to thank you again for your generosity of being here, sharing the stories. And I ask just the final remarks. Yes, Patricia, please, you can start.
I just want to say that it was a great opportunity to have the SB copy from CNI, and I really hope that we can have this kind of initiative in the next COPs, because it was great to have these discussions and then have a book to send to the presidents of the COP with the view of the private sector. It's very important. So I hope we have another opportunities. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the idea, right? Brazil started that, and CNI, right, is the Confederation of Industries of Brazil, but there are like other 70 confederations that were engaged. So Brazil will pass on this mission, right, to the next country, and we hope that this will go on because it was a very valuable initiative. Thank you, Patricia. Your final remarks, Sophia. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mauricio. No, really, we are so proud to be in that booklet, and I think we have a few other cases as well, so I just want to market that. And these are real cases, so, I mean, use it, spread it. I think it's a great idea, because we need to go to action now, and not just, talk about potential solutions. Technologies are there. We have the proof. I mean, it's just go to the booklet, spread it, and we will be able to accelerate together.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you again, Rodolfo, and your final remarks, please.
As Sophie said, I believe that technology is available for a huge amount of products that we can recycle, reuse, or to destinate for reverse supply chain. And this, as I say, is the future for the industry of the future. Because we needed to have all externalities included in the business. So when the mindset works like a circular economy, we can find a lot of solutions, a lot of opportunities to share the best with the society, with the shareholders. And this, I believe, that is the age of innovation. And innovation is mandatory nowadays for every single company. And what we are living with AI, for example, we can find solutions for everything. But we needed to reshape this as a business case, as a business model that the regulation can push, the financial can support, but of course it's mandatory to have good minds in your companies and your universities to provide the best solution in terms of circular economy. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much. PwC Brazil was also very proud to be the knowledge coordinator of this initiative. I'm proud to be here with you guys, and thank you for the audience, and I hope that you enjoy the remaining of COP30.